Paranormal Punches is part of the Podbelly Network. Go to podbelly.com for more great podcasts.
Hey, y'all. This is Frank the Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
Hey, friends. Welcome to another episode of Paranormal Punchers. I'm Mark.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Nash.
And no Dave.
He's going back to the Hollow
That's
Earth.
right. Well, we called him out in the last episode about
Yeah.
being the fake Dave. All that knowledge he was dropping.
I wonder what the repercussions of this are going to be.
I don't know. We'll have to find out. On this episode, we're talking about a listener-suggested topic. Actually, a Patreon member-suggested topic from Patreon member Bondo. And he said, "Hello, fellow paranormals. I'm not sure if this was ever discussed, but I just heard a story called The Siege of Honobia. Now, I heard this story on other podcasts, and they always say Honobia wrong. So if this is a topic you'd like to discuss, I'd be happy to send you an audio clip on how to say Honobia."
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, because I was literally just going to correct you and be like, is it Honobia?
Okay, well, hey, I'm just trying to be natural.
Okay.
I didn't listen to his audio clip yet, so we're all going to be able to see.
Okay.
He thought it'd be fun for us to all try to say it and see how close we are. So it sounds like right out of the gate, I'm wrong.
Well, oh, no, I could be wrong. My official stance is going to be Honobia. Honobia.
Okay. Lish?
Well, I would have said Honobia as well.
Well, we're smart.
But I found some possible ways to say it. So, Honobia,
That's how you would have said it, Honobia?
Honobia, or Honobia.
Honobia. Oh, okay.
Honobia sounds good. What was I saying?
I don't know.
Honobia. Certainly not Honobia. But Jonathan continues here. "What I like about the story is Honobia is my dad's hometown where he grew up. He has never heard the story, but I remember me and him talking about Bigfoot before. We both love it. We always watch Bigfoot shows and documentaries, but he always said he lived there and walked through those woods for miles going to school or work and never saw anything or felt any presence. But the wooded areas are huge, so very possibly just never came across a Bigfoot since they tend to stay away from humans. But I thought it would be a cool topic to discuss because y'all love Bigfoot. And it's a great story."
Yeah.
Thanks, Jonathan, a.k.a. Bondo. Now, why don't we find out how to really say it?
That's right.
Here we go.
Honobia. Honobia.
Honobia?
See, and that's what I told you, that I'd found one that said Honobia.
Honobia, huh? They just don't pronounce the A. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I stand corrected.
Well, that's our main topic. We got listener feedback, and we got some listener stories. But first off, a note about El Yucateco hot sauce. It is the #1 habanero sauce in the U.S. El Yucateco has 5 habanero-based sauces: red, green, Caribbean, black label, reserve, and triple extra hot. They also have a jalapeno hot sauce and a chipotle hot sauce, too. Just go to shopelucateco.com, use our code Paranormal Punchers, and save 10%.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. It's so good you could drink it right from the bottle.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far.
Oh.
El Yucateco. So good you can drink it right from the bottle.
That's right.
All right. Now onto the main topic, everyone. Lisha, take it away.
All right. Over a period of 2 years, the Humphreys family dealt with a group of Bigfoot creatures that almost nightly would try to get into their cabin in Honobia, Oklahoma. It culminated in January 2000 with Tim Humphreys shooting and possibly injuring one of them. So I'm going to start with a email that was sent to the BFRO, which is Bigfoot Field Research Organization.
Right.
From one of the relatives of the Humphreys family.
Too many incidents to mention here. Please have someone contact us. This is no hoax, and my brother is afraid for his family. This creature is getting bolder every time it returns. This thing is huge, walks upright, smells like a musky urine, burnt hair type odor. He repeatedly comes back in the early morning hours after midnight and harasses them until just before dawn. It has on more than one occasion tried to enter their home. We don't know where to turn. Everyone thinks we are crazy when we mention it. Please, we don't know what to do, but I do know that something needs to be done. There are stories we could tell that would make the hair stand on your neck.
So this was kind of what the BFRO, they sent some people. So I'll just tell you what was going on before this.
Okay.
And then we can go from there. Now, the Humphreys family, they lived in a 2-story cabin on 30 acres of dense woods in Honobia, Oklahoma. Sorry, I am always like going to stop and pause and make sure I'm saying
Every
it correctly.
single time the word comes up to make sure it's right.
Anyway, they would hear screaming, whistling, and chattering in the area, but assumed it was just natural wildlife. At one point, though, they noticed a freshly killed carcass was stolen from their outdoor freezer in a shed. They assumed it was a bear, so they cleaned it out and assumed the problem was solved at that point. But the hungry predators began to come onto the porch and scratch the cabin doors, jiggle the doorknobs, mess with the windows, and even bend the gates at night. And I think I had read somewhere the gates were pretty impressive. Like metal gates, like
wrought iron gates or something like that.
It would have been incredibly difficult to. You could have probably done it, but it would have been really hard to do. Anyway, according to the wife of Tim Humphreys, he didn't just scratch at the window, but he had actually pulled off parts of the window. They did see a creature here and there. They said it was 8 feet tall, smelled of musk and urine and burnt hair.
I think I have a soap with that exact same smell that I can use.
Why would you say that?
Now, again, they could hear screaming and strange chattering and whistling and thrashing of trees outside. And as the nights and days went on, they became more ferocious, trying to get into the cabin. Whatever it was, they knew it wasn't alone. They could hear chattering and screaming from the hills when it was near the home. So they could hear it in different places. So they knew there was more than one. The family became convinced that it wasn't bears. And the mom and the children, they fled. They were like, we're not messing around with this.
Peace out.
Yep. So Tim, he is a deer hunter. So him and his friends, they loaded assault rifles and waited on the porch for the creatures to come back. Or come close. Now, Tim eventually, he shot one of them. He shot a massive red-eyed monster that was only 100 yards from the cabin. He thought he hit it in the head, and it ran howling into the tree line. They heard pain screams the rest of the night, and the edge of the forest churned with noise until dawn. They searched the woods the next day, following a trail of blood, and they found bedding made of leaves for a rather large creature, rudimentary attempts at first aid, and bits of brain matter, more blood, but no creature. Yeah. Now, this is when that email had been sent out to the BFRO.
Right.
So investigators from there arrived within 16 hours of the shooting.
Oh, they were fast on site.
Yes. Now, unfortunately, it had rained the night before they got there, like pretty heavily. So it pretty much washed much of anything that they had.
I mean, did they take photographs? Be a way to preserve the evidence. Just
Right.
like
I don't
CSI
know.
would take photographs of the blood and the brains.
Right.
Well, and based on the time frame of this, everybody should have had a cell phone by then.
Well, yeah, it was January 2000.
Yeah.
So I didn't find that. I don't know if anybody else did, but I don't know if they really
More of an
were thinking about that.
observation.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you document that?
Right.
Right. So the BFRO investigators, they concluded that the blood trail led to a deer. It had not been shot, though. One of the legs was violently twisted and broken, and it had clearly been carried, not dragged to the spot that it was found. There was also an opening. This is bizarre. There was an opening between the neck and rib cage where the predator had pulled out its organs. So instead of going through the stomach, it went through the neck, which is interesting.
Well, it's a smaller hole.
I know, right?
Well, I found this. This was Linda Martin. She runs the Clancy's Country Store. Martin said that a close friend observed a deer kill, allegedly left by a Sasquatch. The telltale sign, she said, is that the deer carcass was basically whole, except for the missing liver.
Oh.
Do Sasquatch have a thing for liver?
Well, that's full of a lot of nutrients, right?
I guess.
I guess. I don't eat liver.
Yeah, I found that on TulsaWorld.com.
Oh.
But what I find interesting is why would that be the thing? He kills deer just to eat the liver.
Eat the
Right.
liver. That's weird.
Discards the meat, everything. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's really specific, and especially if the only way to get into the body is through this hole between the neck and the rib cage, you're kind of doing that by feel.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Now the townspeople.
If that's all he eats is the liver, he's probably an expert at punching right through the body, pulling it out like Kali Ma, like in Indiana Jones.
That's right.
Oh boy. The townspeople, they continue to shoot into the woods at night at the slightest sound. Individuals from the BFRO, they wanted to try to tranquilize it if possible, but they knew that there wasn't much that they could do if the family was trying to protect their property and, the people that live there. Now, the mischief and screams around the cabin slowed, and weeks later, the hollering ended for good.
Or so they say.
Now, this area has a lot of Bigfoot sightings.
It's huge.
Like, this is...
Right.
Well, it's Honobia. I keep wanting to say Honobia. Sorry.
Honobia.
Honobia is the number 2 in the nation after the Pacific Northwest for Bigfoot sightings.
Wow.
To further that thought process, they have a festival, a 2-day festival in October.
I know.
Which is happening this year.
Yep.
And it is said that 70 to 80% of the population of Honobia, they're true believers.
Wow.
It's just a massive thing. So the number of sightings in this small, teeny tiny area is so much that it's prevalent in their society. It's everywhere.
Right.
And oddly enough, their representative, their local representative, there's actually 2 things about Bigfoots and Bigfoot hunting or whatnot. I saw 2 different things. So the first thing that I had seen was that there was originally a $2.1 million bounty on the live capture of a Bigfoot from the area. Then just after that, I caught on to a representative, Justin Humphreys.
Yep.
Yeah, where he was trying to put a bill 1648.
Yep.
That would draft rules, dates, license, hunting fees for hunting and capturing Bigfoots.
Yep.
Now,
which we talked about on the last episode. It was one of the news articles that Mike dropped.
Yeah, and it was like $25,000 for the capture of one, but they're getting hunters to do it, so that's a little odd. But I thought, oh my God, if you like Bigfoot, this is the place to be.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought it was great. Did we say that you guys were going to go to the festival? We were going to try to this year or something?
After hearing about this, reading some stuff, I would love to go down.
I know. I was looking at some of the pictures from past festivals there, and I was like, this seems like a really cool thing to do.
And would you say 50% of the people that live there believe?
70 to 80.
70 to 80.
Wow.
See, it sounds like my...
It's the wheelhouse, man. It's like going home. But I guess the main reason for the Bigfoot sightings, or one of it, is what they're thinking, is the level of deer that are in the area. Yeah. And the hunters bring in the deer by planting Austrian snow peas.
Yes.
And I guess deer dig on snow peas. I have no idea. But
that's Okay, you're not going to do that with an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I thought about it, but
Get to the Austrian snow peas.
Yep.
take the peas, take the peas. But they can literally.
It's not this Austrian snow pea.
I could do it more like the little pigs. You know, you'd be like, "Hello, welcome. Would you like some peas? Hello, your Austrian peas."
That's better because the other impression of Arnold we were trying to do would probably get us beat up by Arnold.
Yeah, probably. There's so many deer in the area that people literally just sit on their porch.
Yeah.
They hunt from their porch.
And that's what this family, they apparently did. They would just sit on the porch and
a deer
shoot
comes
away.
by and shoots them. Now, where I'm at, we get deer in the yard, but it's not at the level of what they're saying.
Right.
You get 2 or 3, maybe a week or something like that. But oh my gosh, to have that many deer coming through, this is so overpopulated from everybody doing this that it attracted all these predators.
Yep.
So I imagine there's the Bigfoot, but what other predators are going through the forest? Because they're not the only predators out there.
Right. Well, there's probably bear and there's, do they have cats down there? Like big cats? I don't know.
Well, that's what I was thinking, like mountain lions or something like that. And that, I don't know. That would be, I could just imagine sitting on your porch and just witnessing something like this.
Yeah.
You know, then I start thinking like Godzilla versus Kong. A Sasquatch is taking his prey, taking apart this deer, and then a bear arrives and it's go time.
Now, the aggression that was happening on their property with Bigfoot coming up on the porch, peeking in the windows. Do you think it's a result of the overhunting, or it was drawing so much deer into this area, so then Bigfoot was drawn to this area for all the deer, and then became fascinated. Well, what is this house? And let me look in the window and see what's happening here.
That's what I think.
Was it aggression or was it curiosity?
I think they're looking for food. I mean, it's like if you ever feed raccoons. If you see a raccoon and you feed it, pretty soon you'll start coming back, and you build the behavior. Then you'll get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Then if you stop feeding them and you don't do anything, they keep coming for food, and then they look more and they look more and they look more. And I'm thinking this is the exact same situation. Not that they fed a Bigfoot, but if they have an outdoor freezer, and they've got a couple deer in there, and
well, I feel like so not only was it easy for them to do their hunting because they could just sit on the porch. I'm pretty sure it was super easy for Bigfoot to be like, okay, I'm just going to sit back and wait.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait for you to shoot one, and then I'll just take it.
And we'll take it. Yeah. And steal the kill. Over where we are, every year there's a house that hangs its skinned deer outside so it can dry. And it's like, I imagine it might be something similar to that. And it's easy prey for the Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to do anything. You just kind of hang out and wait for these deer to be hung and gutted, and then you go take it.
Now, I think the BFRO people, they told them, if you want to stop this happening, like you don't want Bigfoot to come around, you need to pull out all of the snow peas. You need to get rid of what you can, because that is the problem. The deer are coming here.
Right.
So the Bigfoot are coming here. So why don't you get rid of one, and it'll hopefully solve the next problem. But
that could then turn into like a giant snow pea civil war.
right.
Free the peas. Give peas a chance. Was there a song about that? Just give peas a chance.
Oh boy.
Well, I'm going to edit that out.
Well, I just thinking that that's what it basically boils down to, is getting rid of the attractor. But even then, it's still going to take years because the deers base their routes on where they can get food.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I had found one thing that said that the winter was unusually harsh that year. So I don't know if it was just everybody was having issues getting food. So the deer were coming where the snow peas were, and Bigfoot was coming to get the deer. So, yeah.
Right. And I don't even know. I mean, the story goes that I'm imagining that I don't know if the Bigfoot killed the deer or if Bigfoot came upon a deer that was killed. Do you know what I mean? Because there was something that you might have said, it was that the Bigfoot possibly got so acclimated to the hunters shooting deer that they didn't really care about
And then
bullets.
they pop out from behind a tree.
Yeah.
Grab the deer and then try to run off.
Yeah,
Right.
and they were saying that the reason why the Sasquatch might be so prevalent in this area is that they're not like deer. If you shoot at a deer, the surrounding herd or whatnot, they're going to take off because the gunshot will scare them. Well, the Sasquatch, they could be like, whatever. They have learned they're smarter, so they have learned that the gunshots they're not at them,
Right.
and they've never heard them, so they don't learn to fear them. So they're just kind of there waiting for a deer to die, and then they grab it. And
Yeah. Well, Tim Humphreys, he said that on many occasions that he would shoot a deer, he would go out to go get it,
it
was not there. So,
Swipe.
yep.
That's right.
Swipe.
Swipe or no swipe, baby.
I think of kill stealing. My son's always talking about kill stealing in his video games, where he's doing all the damage and somebody steals the kill, and he's like, "Oh, you son of a gun!"
This was 2 years
Yeah.
being harassed by big feets. Now, was there any documented proof when the BFR went down? Did they get any video footage? Did they get any photographs?
Well, like I said, when they finally got down there, it had rained so heavily there was no evidence whatsoever. They couldn't even find anything, which is why they said all this blood that you might have seen, it's from a deer that was
Right.
shot or whatever. So I didn't see, but they have it on their site that I think that this is a pretty. I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think a couple of the investigators, they had reported back that they did hear stuff, but I don't think they actually saw anything.
Right.
So
And didn't they think that the guy was shooting he thought he shot a Bigfoot, but there was no other but they found a dead deer at that spot, or
so I guess the Humphrey and his pals, they found some blood and they followed the trail of blood, but they didn't find a body. And then when the BFRO, when they showed up, it had rained,
It was
so
all
everything
gone.
was gone.
Well, a logging driver reported seeing two creatures carrying another creature like cross the road in front of his truck.
Yep.
It was the same night that Humphrey shot that Bigfoot. So,
they were trying to get to the chopper.
right, they were evacuating.
They were
Evacing,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. They were doing their best thing in their big squatch,
And I got that tidbit from a documentary called "The Town That Bigfoot Built."
Ooh.
yeah.
About a 45-minute long documentary, really nice about the festival things that they do down there. So,
That's
yeah,
cool.
check it out.
I want to go down there. I would love to go down at this festival. I think it'd be a blast.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I want to so bad. And then we'd
Yeah.
have a little booth. You know, maybe we'd do a live podcast.
That'd be cool.
I could bring some beers, and we could all call it a weekend.
Sounds like fun.
Yep.
It's in October. That sounds like a wonderful time of the year
Yeah.
for the festival. I don't know how hot it gets down in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think October anywhere is going to be pretty nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we drive it? Or we got to fly?
I don't.
We
How
have
far
to
is
drive
it?
because if we're going to take beer across state lines,
Right.
Might be a little challenging if
yeah,
we.
but I mean, if we take the booth and swag to sell, we're we're going to need to drive.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I gotta think that this place is just teeming with just beyond the tree line, and they were saying something about you could hear things happening all the time behind the trees, and you could look out and see red eyes from time to time.
Yeah.
I just think this place is just teeming with life
yeah.
in the forest, and I would prefer it to be deer and Sasquatch and not mountain lions
Right,
and bears.
right.
Oh my, looking out to rip me from limb, but who knows?
Yeah. Bigfoot sightings, they date back hundreds of years in this area.
Yeah.
The first official one was in 1848. Now, the Choctaw elders who live in the region have been telling legends of these large, hairy creatures roaming through the Kiamichi. Did I say that right?
The mountain range that's there.
Yeah, the mountains there. So they've been talking about this for generations.
Right.
So this is, I think it's a hot spot. So
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Sounds like we just need to go, hang out, bring some, find yourselves a dead deer somewhere, and just throw it 100 yards away and just kind of sit and bring some lawn chairs and sit and hang out and wait. Okay, now I just want to pose this idea.
Okay.
Because we've discussed it earlier that potentially the Bigfoot is like an interplanetary garbage collector. Okay, brought down. So I'm thinking that he's going down and he's in this area. They're in the area and they don't wear the yellow jackets or whatever because they don't want to be seen. But basically what they see the litter from the dead creatures and they're like, oh no, it's time to clean up. And so maybe they were going to the house to get them to stop doing this because they're making a mess in the forest. And they're like, you got to keep the forest clean, man. You know, and they kept taking the stuff. They thought it was a garbage can and not like a refrigerator sitting outside.
Oh, boy.
So they're just getting rid of it. And they're taking it in there and taking it to their refuse pile, whatever. And, you know, so they can report back to the mothership. And the mothership can say, you know what? You guys did a really good job. We'll get you a raise this year on your annual review.
Okay.
that was dead silence after that one.
Well, now, everybody, that's why we're not allowed in Oklahoma after that. Now, I think I have no theory on it at all, except maybe I hate to say it, but you might be right. Because if they were shooting the deer, Bigfoot's like, oh.
Messing up my forest, man.
Or this is easy.
Yeah.
This is easy peasy
Super
lemon
easy.
squeezy.
Yeah.
They're like, Bigfoot's like, these guys are great. They shoot one, I grab it. It's
Done.
Make hunting so much easier.
You just got to go over that hill over there. They're going to kill something for you, basically. They do it for you, and you just go grab it. It's so easy. Yeah, that's what I think. I think any predator will take an easy kill over a tough kill. And so they would do that.
You're right.
That's what they do. And I think when it comes to feeding animals, any kind of animal, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and honestly, if I was a hunter and Bigfoot wanted the deer and only the liver, I'd be like, absolutely. I'll cut it out, wrap it up. There you go, dude. Yeah, let me have the rest of the deer to feed my family. But yeah, I wouldn't pick a fight at all about it. Take the liver, I got the rest.
And I even wonder why. I mean, this is another thought that I had was these guys are sitting on their porch doing this. Okay, they're shooting the deer as it comes up, and they see the Bigfoot coming through. So you can have trail cams, motion activated trail cams that do like high def images.
Right.
You can sit on your porch with some cameras that, man, they're 1080i or 1080p or whatever it is.
I mean, if it sounds like we should go down there, plant some Austrian snow peas.
Yeah.
Bait out with some deer liver.
Yeah.
And then sit back with some cameras and see.
And just wait.
Yeah.
And just wait. I think you might have to like rent a place for the winter or for the summer or something like that. And then why can't they leverage what's the problem to be the source of the solution and to get the data that we're looking for to prove it?
Right.
It would be incredibly easy to take a freaking video of it and just put it out there of all these different angles in the house. How hard would that be? Come on, guys.
Yeah, you put like a ring.
Yeah.
So, because trust me, we have one, and if we go out, it's letting you know someone's on the porch. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's me. But, yeah.
And how far can that thing see? When you look in your ring image, you can see across the street in high def detail.
Right.
I mean, come on.
So now we need to build a cabin in the woods.
Fill it with doorbells.
With a ring system, Austrian snow peas, and deer liver.
That's right. Done.
I got to see the budget on this one. I don't know if it's in the Paranormal Puncher's budget.
We'll charge it to the Hollow Earth. They'll pay for it. It's okay.
Yeah, what else? Lish, very fascinating and scary.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, jokes aside, it would be terrifying to be harassed for 2 years by a Bigfoot.
Right.
Right.
Right? Even the dog agrees.
No, I just have a couple. I just grabbed a couple sightings from people that live there. Charlene Kusher, she's a Choctaw from nearby Watson, which is 26 miles away. But she remembered hearing one such story from her grandparents about they spoke of a little boy who wandered into the forest and got lost. when they found the boy, he was fine. He said that thing took care of him, referring to the creature. Now, Billy Ludlow, he was a Choctaw of Honobia, Honobia, became a staunch believer in Bigfoot 54 years ago at the age of 11 when he encountered a gigantic bipedal creature on Little River. Ludlow and two playmates were goofing around one Sunday night after church when they heard metal beams snapping on the unfinished bridge that was above them. I looked up and I saw this large, hairy animal stand up on two legs like a man. I'd guess it to be about 9 or 10 feet tall, with broad shoulders and hair all over. I was always the slowest runner among my friends, but on that night, I was the fastest. We ran to my grandmother's cabin and slammed the door shut. It was chasing us. Something came and pushed the door 2 or 3 times and then went away. I know they are out there. So
That would be terrifying.
Right?
That would be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know about snapping metal beams, though.
Well, he was snapping or bending the gate, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they're pretty strong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I bet he runs pretty quick, too. That little kid had to really book it.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
He ran really fast that day.
He had to be like Usain Bolt to get away.
Right.
Gotta run faster than Nash.
Yeah.
That's right. You want to be the fastest is faster than the slowest.
Right.
All right. That was fun. Thanks, Alicia. Nash and Bondo, thanks for suggesting that topic. All right. We'll come right back with some listener feedback.
Oh, my God. Honey, look. It's Bigfoot.
No way. Let's go say hi. Hey, Mr. Bigfoot. What you reading?
You can call me Frank, and I'm reading the Paranormal Punchers comic book.
Paranormal Punchers?
Yeah, it's about a group of podcasters that get themselves in all kinds of paranormal trouble. It's like Scooby-Doo meets the X-Files, and it's hilarious.
Sounds great. Where can we get a copy?
Just head over to paranormalpunchers.com where you can find a comic book and all kinds of merchandise.
Thanks, Mr. Bigfoot. Have a nice day.
Thanks, you too. Oh, and look out for that bear.
And we're back. All right. Thanks again, Bondo, for sending us that topic idea.
Yeah.
If you have a topic idea, just go to paranormalpunchers.com. Find all the ways to contact us. All right. We're going to jump into some listener feedback, and then we got some listeners' paranormal stories. So let's get rolling. First off, shout out to our new Patreon member, Trevor. What's up? Thank you so much for
Thank you.
for being part of the Pudding Skin team over on our Patreon.
That's right, for the win.
And I did thank him, and he said, hey, friends. Oh, absolutely. I enjoy the content and topics you guys and gal discuss. I listen about 6 or 7 hours a day.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
At my normally mundane job. While still shitty, it is, however, far more bearable listening to the cast. Yeah, while still shitty didn't mean our podcast. His job.
I was like,
His
wow,
job.
dude, wow.
Keep it up and keep it weird. Thanks, Trevor, and I hope you enjoy the cool content we have over there.
Yes, thank you.
We heard from Nicole V. Just wanted to say, I love your show. I listen to it all day at work. I have an idea for the show. The Exorcism of Anna Eklund. It's about a woman who first became possessed when she was 6. The last time she was possessed, it took over 4 months to rid her demons.
Wow.
Wow.
Thanks for sharing your fun and weird show. Well, thank you, Nicole, for listening and giving us that topic idea.
Yeah.
And we heard from Rodney. I think it was the Banff Springs Hotel tangent. You guys talked about a magical guitar. This got my D&D creativity flowing.
Okay.
So he made up his own thing here for D&D. Maybe it'll find its way into one of our adventures. It's a wondrous item called a Skelecaster. And it's uncommon and requires attunement. Skelecaster resembles a guitar made of human bones and sinew. While using the Skelecaster, you gain a proficiency in the performance skill. If you already have proficiency in it, you can double your proficiency bonus. You may also use an action to cast each of the following: Charm, Charm Person, Confusion, Pudding Skin, and Heavy Metal with a DC 15 saving throw. The Skellercaster regains use of the effect at dawn. Oh, it's also cursed. If the attunement is broken at any point, even willingly, the attuned takes 4d20 necrotic damage.
Whoa.
The attuned can be recognized by their pale face and skin, dark eyeliner, and black fingernail polish. Rodney, thank you. That's a cool idea. I got to make sure if I use this item in our D&D campaign, I have to wait a month or so you guys forget. So when you see a cool guitar made out of bones, you just pick it up.
That's some nice damage, though.
Right?
Oh, yeah. We heard from Jessica L. Been listening to your podcast every day at work, and I am finally caught up.
Aw.
All right. Well, hey, new episode for you right now. Hope you're enjoying it, and thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate that. And we got some stories here,
Yep.
and I'm going to let Nash read a story by our buddy Joe. Nash, you ready? I saw you scrambling for your phone.
Well, it moved, so I had to resize it here. So Joe P. Joe P. states, just listening to episode 111, and the listener's story at the end reminded me of something very similar that happened to me with my daughter. She was probably around 8 or 9 months old, and I was feeding her in the kitchen, and the dog was sitting next to her, ready to hoover up any and all food she threw onto the floor. Out of nowhere, Erin, my daughter, or Joe P's daughter, starts waving into the hallway room, and the dog stood up and didn't bark or anything, but was staring at the same spot she was waving at. I'm not going to lie to you and say I looked up to see what it was. I just ignored it and went on feeding her because I knew no one was there, and F that. My wife said she's seen a little boy ghost peeking into the kitchen and down the hallway from time to time. So maybe it was just him, but I wasn't going to find out. Also attached is a strange orb on the monitor in Aaron's room one night. My wife happened to catch him on film.
Yeah, he sent us a little movie of his daughter sleeping, and this orb is kind of like...
Really?
Yeah, going around her head and stuff.
Huh.
Weird. Maybe it was just a little bug or something, some dust. I don't know.
Maybe, but...
But interesting, Joe.
Yeah.
You got a little ghost boy hanging out, and it's waving at your daughter. That would be freaky.
Well, maybe it could be like a protection thing. Who knows? I mean, if it's a little boy, maybe he could see his daughter as a friend. That would be fantastic.
Or it could be something not
like
that. It could be like a demon posing as a little boy to fool Joe. Joe, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to scare you.
Yeah, I was like, thanks for freaking out, Joe. I'm trying to put a good light on this here.
Right.
Just kidding, man. Thanks, Joe. And we have a story here from Kevin J. And Alicia's going to read this one because it's longer. And I didn't want to read it.
Oh, boy. So, sorry, Kevin J., if I butcher this. Hey, guys. Sorry, it's a rather long story. About 4 or 5 months ago, I started a new job. I work late evenings doing prep work for a sauce and salsa company. I know I posted something, or I should say I believe I posted something on the Facebook group about how I thought there were some strange things going on. Well, I can say with certainty that they have continued. Now, to paint a better picture, I'll say that I normally work between the hours of 3 p.m. until somewhere around 9 or 11 p.m., depending on the amount of work I have to do and the duties of the semi-stay-at-home dad. This means I typically work by myself for at least a few hours. Now, I will say that for quite some time, I've had the feeling of being watched while I get the various vegetables ready for the next day's batch of salsa. And I am aware that there are a wide variety of things that can cause you to feel like you're being watched, which is why I teased the story initially on the Facebook group, but didn't go into detail until I had more experiences. Now, I've had a couple lids that go on for 5-gallon buckets fall unexpectedly. Lids that were secured pretty well. Another night, I found a large tote of plastic jars on the ground. I'm 98% sure I put these away properly and almost had a heart attack when I heard them crash to the ground. Then tonight, as I was working, I started to see it again. The glimpses of shadows, and I would have sworn for a split second that I saw a person standing just inside our front door. This, I'll call it an apparition, but I don't really know, lasted only for a second or two before I broke eye contact and it was gone. And in fairness, it was more of a glance over my shoulder because of the odd feeling of being watched, which is why I'm not as confident in this one, but it still felt like sharing it. Now, it has been raining and thunderstorming on and off in my little corner of we'll call it the great state of Nebraska. And I know that some people theorize that the electricity in the air can increase activity. But this isn't even the freaky story yet, at least not in my mind. We're doing some minor renovations to my house. I've torn up all the old carpet, and we've hired a subcontractor to put in laminate flooring throughout. Because of how the gentleman wanted to do this, most of our possessions are in our garage and the kitchen and dining room. That way, he had a blank canvas to work with. Now, we've had the mattresses for myself, my wife, and our children on the floor in one of the bedrooms up until last night, just because a couple twin mattresses and a queen mattress aren't that hard to move. And it was an attempt to give the kids some normalcy while their entire house is torn apart. About 2 nights ago, maybe 3 by the time you're reading this, we were all in our various beds that were on the floor laying side by side when my middle child out of the blue asked, "Dad, are you right here?" Now I'm laying right beside him and slightly confused. I ask him, "What do you mean, buddy?" And he repeats, "Dad, are you right here, right above me?" I'd be lying if I said my heart didn't sink a little as I reached over for my phone and shined the light in his general direction, just to make sure that he was safe. And there was nothing. A few minutes later, I saw the headlights of a car turning onto the street we live on, cast through the darkness and onto the wall. Then I saw it. It looked like a dark mist hovering over my child. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, as soon as I got my phone again to shine a light over there, it was gone. Needless to say, I didn't sleep too well. All of this has happened within about a week of my father-in-law passing. I'm hoping it was him checking up on us. Anyway, I'll keep you guys in the loop if anything crazy or crazier happens. Take care, and remember, if it's not weird, it's not worth checking out.
Whoa, thanks, Kevin.
That's
Right?
wild. I would give about a 99.9% that it was his dad.
Yeah, I might have.
Oh yeah, huge. Definitely. Just that the amount of feeling and loss that everybody has felt in that area, especially your son. I would almost guarantee that that's exactly what it is. Wow, that's wild, but it was still scare the bejeebers out of you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, but even at work.
Right.
Seeing an apparition, shadows that I guess could make the workday go fast.
Yeah.
Or depends. Could be a lot of fun or it could be terrible.
Yeah.
Right.
Who knows? But being that you haven't really seen that in the past, or even in your own house, I mean, you haven't had much in the way of reports of something similar like that, and now there was a passing, and that's what I would think it was.
Well, our condolences on that, Kevin.
Of course.
Definitely.
And thank you so much for sharing the story.
Yeah.
And keep us posted if anything else happens at work or whatever.
Right.
Thank you for sharing this. Hey, do you have a paranormal story you want to share with us? Send it. We'll read it on the air the best we can. ParanormalPunches.com. That's where you'll find all the ways to contact us. All right. Now, by the time this episode drops, our puppet should almost be ready to ship to us.
All right.
And that means we could get started on our little video series called Paranormal Puppets, which will be clips from our show, like the one clip about the flatbread truck.
Oh, God.
Nice.
And we're going to basically reenact those scenes with these puppets. Should be a lot of fun and entertaining. Just short little vignettes. Put that up on the Patreon, and we might share it in our Facebook group. We'll see.
See how it goes.
See how it goes. And then the feedback we got on our script that we read, like an audio drama.
Yeah.
The Quest for Karma.
Yes.
Ooh.
We got some nice feedback from Patreons to the point where we're kicking around the idea of actually making a short film.
I think we should. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I talked about using puppets, but now I'm kind of motivated to do live action.
Yeah.
And thank you to to everybody that gave us feedback on it. You kind of helped spark, light a fire, as they say, under me to get up and maybe we'll do this because, I always like that story.
Yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about, head on over to patreon.com/paranormalpunchers and then for $1 a month, all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, you can catch up on it all.
Yeah, like our new D&D campaign. Right now, you guys are fighting Nicolas Cage lookalikes.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
And you have no idea why yet.
I can't wait to find out why.
And also, my comic book, Bigfoot Ridge.
Yep.
The artist has been sending me thumbnails, layouts, and everything is looking great. So I'll keep everybody posted as this comes together. But I can't wait to have it available for everybody to check out. I'm super excited about it. And again, I couldn't have done it without listeners, the podcast. That's what inspired the idea. So thank you. You're all amazing. What else? Nash, you got anything to update? You got a new beer in the works? We haven't done a cryptid beer in a while.
I know, and I'm actually I'm getting ready to brew a brute here. It's I've got all the ingredients, but I just haven't done one yet. Yeah.
What's a brute?
A brute.
What's
a brute? It's got the double umlauts over the U. Yeah, it's a beer with champagne yeast.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, so every once in a while you'll see it. It makes it really dry, really crisp. It's a nice beer. It's a nice summer beer. So it'll be ready in another month or so. So it'll be just in time for the pool to open and it'll be out. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Yeah.
Oh, and I cannot wait to brew a batch with you.
Yeah.
You gave me a starter kit. So I think it's something like a session IPA.
Let's do it.
Does it sound easy?
Easy peasy.
All right, man. I can't wait. Lish, how about you? Anything to update the wonderful listeners on?
I don't think I do. I'm just ready to jump into the next topic. So.
And ready to drink the beers that we're getting ready to brew.
Of course. There's always that.
Now, and Lish and I took a week off in May, and we're looking around for places to go that we could drive to.
Yeah.
But, kicking around back up to Lake George so we can do the Sagamore. We talked about the hauntings on our latest Patreon episode, and they got some great breweries.
Yeah.
But we waited too long to book it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can do that. But I'm also looking at West Virginia because there's a lot of weird things.
There's a lot of weird. You say West Virginia, and I go, ooh, be careful.
Right? Yeah. We talked about several locations in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And I think they probably got some good breweries down there, too.
Oh, yeah. I can almost guarantee it.
So are you from West Virginia and you got some ideas for us or things to check out, some breweries to hit? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
And if you're down there, and we do go, we'll have to figure out a meetup at a brewery.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Dave has nothing to update us on because he's not here. So maybe next time the real Dave will come on.
He'll give us an update on the Hollow Earth.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Speaking of Hollow Earth, did you see Godzilla versus King Kong?
I did.
Yeah.
I did it quite a bit, and I enjoyed most of it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Godzilla and King Kong fighting. And then, no spoilers, but, then just all the monster fighting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But they have some Hollow Earth stuff, which they were building to like in Skull Island. They had referenced that. So it's kind of interesting take.
Yeah, and it builds it leaves it open for more things to happen in Hollow Earth, and it opens a bunch of unanswered questions, which could all turn into movies.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got a chance to watch a really cool movie that you'll hear about in the coming weeks when it gets closer to its on-demand drop. It's called 15 Things You Didn't Know About Bigfoot. And number one, well, what was the rest of that title?
Number one will shock you.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember now.
That's all right. That's why I said you'll hear more details in the coming weeks when we drop that episode. That is it, everybody. Thank you for supporting the show, listening to the show. Sending your feedback, being part of the show. All right, that's it. And remember, if it's not weird,
it's not worth checking out.